morning, everybody. Welcome back to the Mount Tammany Ridge channel. This morning, bringing you guys along, hopefully to get some work done. We got some rain coming in. I'm not 100% sure. I'm confident it's going to hit us, but I don't know how badly and for how long. So it could be, you know, anywhere from a torrential rainfall for just a matter of minutes to pretty heavy rain for a couple hours. So it's all up in the air at this point, no pun intended. Gonna be doing some dirt work today. Gonna be, or at least on this project, not necessarily today, depending on what happens with the weather. But yeah, so we're going to be doing some dirt work. Going to be using both the skid steer and the excavator on this job. Going to maybe pull a couple stumps. Hopefully they don't prove to be too much of a nuisance. There are, you know, there's a fence for the neighbor that's really close. Hopefully I will be able to negotiate that well. I'll show you guys a little bit more of that once we actually get there. But anywho, yeah, so whatever happens with the weather today is going to determine whether I do anything today or I'm just staging everything. So let's get to it. Mount Tammany Ridge channel. You got John here, and the video you're watching right now is a little local side hustle I got going on. A friend of mine just on the other side of the valley at the top of the other ridge, opposed to Mount Tammany. We're just across from each other. He's got me doing some dirt work up there. Him and his neighbor have been kind of teaming up together to doll up both properties, where the property lines touch, which is right where that hillside is that you see me grading. I was talking about that being like a 12% pitch. There's a lot of work that's going to be getting done in there over the past couple years. I will be involved in some of it, not necessarily all of it. Boy, I got a nuisance flying here. It's going to drive me to drink. But yeah, so that's what I have going on here. Now that backyard that I've been doing the grading in has been an ongoing project for those two. They have been cutting down trees for probably the past couple of years. I think they said they removed over 100 trees or more, maybe 150 trees, I think all together. And basically it was pretty much all them doing it themselves. So they were dropping the trees and they were getting them out of the way, and then of course you got the stumps left over. So if you could imagine what that backyard looks like after digging out probably 100 stumps or so. And I mean, I saw the stumps a while back, and they weren't small trees. I mean, I think the smallest diameter tree that they cut out of there was probably 6 to 8 inches. So, and everything from there up. So yeah, they had their work cut out for them. So they went the route, and they rented a couple machines. I think it was an excavator and a skid steer to cope with that situation then. However, as you know, when you rent a piece of equipment, you're kind of running against the clock, right? So they got the work done that they needed to get done, and gave the machines back when the clock was up. So the backyard was very lumpy and bumpy. There's a bunch of highs and lows and all kinds of stuff. And then of course, they also had, those big piles that I had to move. There was 3 big piles that I had to move that they created, with a bunch of, rocks and all kinds of other roots and sticks and all kinds of stuff that basically just renders any dirt that you scratch up during those processes, or I can't talk, long day. During those processes, you scratch up a lot of junk. And as much as we would all like to keep the dirt that's in that junk, unless you have a screening type of system, you're not gonna save any of that. So I had 3 monster piles. They were probably as big, if not bigger, than my skid steer itself. And it was a very, very long, agonizing ride, 1 bucket at a time across that backyard. So yeah, I'm glad that part is over. Not to mention, I also had to make a bunch of piles on my own. Got sod and stuff like that. Anybody who's tried to do any grading, even rough grading, after scraping off a bunch of topsoil with sod and stuff mixed in it, it don't spread, it don't grade. It just clumps and rolls and drives you nuts. So usually, if you can scrape that stuff up and put it in some low spots and track it in, and then let a little bit of time go by, and let that grass and the roots and everything burn and dry out from the sun being exposed, it usually gets a little bit easier to grade, a week or two, maybe 3 weeks down the road. However, he is going to have some dirt trucked in. I could be wrong, but I thought he said something like 6 tandems or something like that. So I'm going to have some dirt to play with. It's not going to be a bunch, but it's not a little bit either. So we're going to have some dirt work coming up in a future video doing that. Now, today is Tuesday evening, hoping to have this video completed and posted for you guys tomorrow morning, Wednesday. And tomorrow I will be bringing you guys with me to do a little bit more grading work in the backyard. It's pretty well hidden because of the grass being pretty tall back there, but it's a minefield back there. Now that I've got my new phone and I got my steely ball magnet on the back of the case now, I can let you guys ride with me inside the cab of the skid steer for a little bit. And I'm hoping, I'm not 100% sure, but I'm hoping it's going to illustrate what kind of gnarly ride it can be in there, you know, traversing back and forth across that really rough terrain. So it's hard on your back, it's hard on your neck and your shoulders, and my knees are absolutely screaming, you know, because you're bracing yourself, because every time you hit a rock or a root or something like that, it's almost like getting into a car accident every time. So and that's me taking it easy, you know. So yeah, anyway, I wanted to thank you guys for hanging out with me here in the Mount Tammany Ridge channel, coming along with me on this little adventure that I got going on. And there's going to be more to come for sure. He's going to be having me put in a pad for a shipping container. I'm going to be bringing you guys along for that. And there's also going to be some flower bed work, you know, landscaping type of stuff going on in his front yard. I imagine that's probably going to be next spring. You know, but we're still talking about, you know, the details there and see how it goes. But anyway, again, thank you very much for hanging out with me here in the Mount Tammany Ridge channel. If you do enjoy the content you see here on the channel, please hit that like button, subscribe, share with some of your friends that might be interested, and I'll see you guys on the next video.